The UN releases its long-awaited report on alleged human rights abuses against Uyghur Muslims in China. No end in sight to the floods sweeping across Pakistan. The rising waters turning roads into rivers in the worst affected areas. And the tributes continue. Preparations are being made for the funeral of Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union. And we talk to the child refugee from Ghana, who's now at the summit of Britain's fashion journalism. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has authorized updated COVID-19 booster shots from Pfizer and Moderna. They target the dominant Omicron subvariants. The American government is now preparing for an autumn vaccination campaign that could begin in the next few days. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control's panel of experts meets tomorrow to consider a final recommendation. The jury in the trial of former Manchester United footballer Ryan Giggs has been discharged after failing to reach verdicts on any of the 3 charges he faced. Giggs was accused of using controlling and coercive behavior and assaulting his ex-partner. He has denied the charges. Kenya's Supreme Court has begun hearing a challenge to the election of William Ruto, who, as the country's new president. Lawyers for his rival, the opposition leader Raila Odinga, argued there were problems with the vote count and the electoral process. Life expectancy in the United States has fallen to its lower level since 1996, driven largely by the COVID-19 pandemic. Government data shows the average American is now expected to live just over 76 years. Now, that's compared to 79 only a few years ago. The fall in life expectancy is particularly pronounced among Native Americans and Alaska Natives. Another sign that the world is getting back to normal after the COVID pandemic, the return of this very messy festival in Spain. It's the Tomatina event, held in Buñol, and it features thousands of people throwing more than 100 tons of ripe tomatoes at each other. It was canceled in 2020 and 2021 due to the coronavirus, and for the first time wasn't held since tomatoes started to be thrown in 1945. The Tomatina styles itself as the world's biggest food fight, and you can see why.
Last surviving member of the Monkees sues the FBI over access to secret files held on the band. Tugboats in the Suez Canal have refloated an oil tanker that briefly ran aground due to a fault with its rudder. Suez Canal authorities said the Affinity have been blocking the same southern stretch where the Ever Given got stuck for 6 days in March 2021, causing severe disruption to international trade. Thanks to Peter Bowes there. The former Alaska Governor, Sarah Palin, has been defeated in the special election to represent Alaska in the U.S. Congress. Democrat Mary Peltola won by a narrow margin on Wednesday. She will be the first Alaskan native to serve as a lawmaker in Washington for the state. She advocated for abortion access, climate action, and the state's salmon populations. The seat is up for election again in November.